what we should be doing in the next 2 weeks, the next couple of weeks and months, as a recommendation. And also, I think this is something that the federal government has to take very, very, very seriously, including the state government. But the issues that I want to press right now is actually on involving the federal government. One is to manage scheduled waste management efficiently. Now, lots of our companies are involved in have produced lots of waste. But where do they dump this waste? Where do they dump this waste? They can dump, of course, in front of their house, in the rubbish bin, in the drains, and now the toilets, as we saw last week, in the toilets, and also you can dump it in the river. But you also can send it to a third-party processing center, which actually can recycle your waste management. But why is this not happening? Why is this not happening? And the very clear answer is because our agencies, the Department of Environment, our local councils are not enforcing existing laws, and that's partly because lack of manpower at the DOE, Department of Environment, and maybe even including the local councils. Now, this is something that has to be done as a matter of urgency. If I was the Minister of Water, if I was the Menteri Besar, that's the first thing I will do to make sure all the factories that are actually carrying lots of waste or even any amount of waste along the rivers must have a scheduled waste management system in place, and it must be monitored. This is the key, must be monitored. And not only do you monitor the company itself, but where that waste is going, And therefore, what you need to do is to put in trackers in the tankers, as well as in the vehicles that are carrying this waste material to a third party or a different place in order to recycle it. Now, these trackers are important because it will tell you at every point where that tanker is going. If it stops in front of a traffic light, you know it's stopping in front of a traffic light. If it stops for 2 hours, then you know something else is going on here, though. And in that way, you monitor the movement. And I say this because it happened this problem happened in Engan, in Klang, where this tanker brought in a whole lot of smelly rubber waste, huge amounts of rubber waste, and they found a hole in Engan, just actually a residential area, and they started transferring from the tanker through pipes to this hole that they saw in the morning, and they came back in the afternoon to do a second round. And unfortunately for them, the pipe in which they was transferring the waste material snapped. It snapped, and actually it ended up in the drain that brought the waste right into Klang River. And that's when Luas realized that there was pollution in the river. So this is exactly why we need to track the tankers. The tankers have to be tracked, and that will involve the JPA. So therefore, you need coordination. You need coordination between the Department of Environment, local council, which gives you the permit to open a factory, and number three, the Department of the JPA. Now, these trackers don't exist at this time. There is no law around it, but I think the way forward in trying to address the issue of pollution in the rivers has to be addressed with this kind of approach.